Partly to mostly cloudy skies this afternoon. Scattered showers and a few thunderstorms. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. A chance of showers and thunderstorms tonight. Partly to mostly cloudy, around 72. A 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms Sunday and Monday. Partly sunny each day, and the high near 90. The 4th of July, Tuesday, partly sunny in the low 90s, and a stray shower thunderstorm is in the forecast. Jonesboro, that's your KLEK 102.5 FM weather.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Rebecca Foster. U.S. President Donald Trump and South Korea's President Moon Jae-in have discussed North Korea during their first meeting at the White House. Russia has extended its counter-sanctions on the EU until the end of 2018. And the United Nations Refugee Agency estimates that around 500,000 Syrians have returned to their homes this year.
It's 12:01.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for our Thoughts on the Matter, a program offering opinions from all sides of the issues concerning local, state, and national topics of importance to the Jonesboro community. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters, donors, or sponsors.
KLEK 102.5 FM, good afternoon to you on your Saturday, July 1st, 2017. We're getting ready to head into the 4th of July, so happy early 4th of July to everyone who's out there listening and watching on our Facebook live stream. This is Our Thoughts on the Matter. Joining us today is Mrs. Amanda Donovan.
Afternoon, y'all.
Mrs. Shanquetta Cunningham.
Hello.
And Mr. Brad Dial.
Hello.
All right, and we're going to go ahead and get into our first topic today, which is the Senate health care bill. Recently, the United States Senate released their draft of their bill to repeal and replace Obamacare, and this not long after the bill was released, several Republican senators stated that they could not support the bill in its current form, which is putting the bill in peril because none of the Democrats and the independents that caucus with the Democrats support it. So it would need entirely Republican support in order to pass. And with these handful of Republican senators saying that they cannot pass it in its current form, the bill is in danger of not passing. In fact, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has actually delayed the vote on the bill. They actually wanted to get it passed before July 4th. So our panel is going to give their thoughts on the bill. So the floor is now yours.
Well, I am interested in seeing if, what's the new date? July 10th? Mm-hmm. If we will even get a vote, and I am highly skeptical of even that happening because a lot of the moderate conservatives, not necessarily are withholding the vote because it's not a good plan. I think they're thinking about the political landscape. Mm-hmm. That a vote to repeal now could possibly mean that the next term they will not be in the Senate to see whatever new would come out of it. So it's a political stakes game, in my opinion, more so than the actual discussion that's about what's truly in the best interest of the American people.
Well, some of the issues that are in the bill that have raised some concerns is, well, one, I'd be interested to hear what the ladies have to say, is the defunding of Planned Parenthood, and then there's also the way that they approach coverage under Obamacare. You know, if you don't have coverage, you have to pay a penalty. Under the Senate bill, that would be replaced with provisions. If you let your health insurance lapse, you would have to wait at least 6 months before you could get coverage again. And there's also talk about limiting the Medicaid expansion, which actually has some Republican governors in states that have expanded Medicaid, including Arkansas, may have them scratching their head as well. So it's a lot of things in the bill that have people that are concerned.
Yeah, it's definitely just for Arkansas. So many topics, but just going from your last topic about Arkansas, I think the projected numbers are 330,000 to 400,000 Arkansans that could lose coverage.
Right.
You know, when we've had so much progress. It's reduced half of I think we were at 25% of uninsured. Now we're down to 10.
Right.
So it's proven that this has been best for Arkansas, a state that needs right now the assistance
Right.
and financial assistance for our constituents.
My big concern is what's going to happen to our kids because they're Medicaid based. You know, if they're planning on defunding, you know, that's a lot of children. You know, I know several, including my own, that has been on our kids. Whether it be Plan A, which is total pay, or Plan B, which you pay a copay when you go see the doctor and medications. You know, that's not just...
No, would it be, it'd be, the March of Dime also would be affected, and that's where they losing a lot of their votes. The March of Dime was trying to tell, you know, these kids are born like this, and, you know, and they say ain't no pre-existing condition. But back up on that just a little bit, I was listening that they're not going to really do away with the Medicare part. They're going to just,
Right.
the lower income would be
Shift the
middle
tax
class.
burden.
Yeah, the middle class is what's really going to get hit, but you're always going to have the lower class that's going to have
Right.
the health coverage.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess for me, I mean, as a person that works, I've got health care through my employer. I mean, it actually affects me a great deal. You know, I mean, we were talking about this before we got on the air. It's like, you know, I, as a healthy person, you could probably right now take the penalty, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm getting penalized for not having health care.
Right.
But in essence, it actually it does cost me more per paycheck to actually have insurance. So let's maybe talk about it from that aspect. Is this really about people losing health care? Is it fact that the health care costs in the country are just so high in the
Well,
first
see,
place?
that's what
The
it's supposed to
system
affect
itself.
that too. They're supposed to affect the cost of the
Right.
working class with their insurance, the retiree. So if someone retired from a job, if they want to keep that coverage, they got to pay the whole premium.
And I'll tell you right now, from a personal standpoint, that's what happened to my grandparents. My grandpa was a salaried member of management, and he worked for GE until he retired, and they bought into a awesome insurance policy where you paid X amount and you didn't have to worry about it no more.
Right.
Whereas as soon as Obamacare took over, my grandmother lost most of her coverage, and now we're having to pay when she didn't even have to before.
You know, I don't think anyone, even President Obama, he even stated that it wasn't the perfect plan.
Right.
But it was definitely a great first step in the direction
Right.
of a conversation that had been going on. I'm 30 years old, and I was hearing about this when Hillary Clinton then was just first lady and all of this, talking about universal health care. So it was taking the initiative to finally get it done after 2 or 3 decades. So I think everyone acknowledged it's not the perfect plan, but
At least it was a step
It was
towards it.
Again, it was a step.
Well, I have it, and I was surprised how much they charge Medicaid. I had just a little 2-hour procedure, and my procedure was $49,000.
So
It's the
Wow,
system.
So you think about it.
It's the
You think about that right there. I mean, we're in essence we're talking about repealing what's called the Affordable Health Care Act, which is in essence not affordable. Now, is it affordable to people that are getting funded through the program? Yeah, because they're not paying for it, right? So, well, let's think about this. We all talk about, you know, like you just said, medical bills. We have to have health care, you know, to help offset those costs. But is there a reason why health care is so high? Maybe that is more of the issue.
Capitalism. Yes.
Exactly.
Right. Now, and it's interesting you say that. And capitalism is not a left or a right side thing.
It's
Oh, no,
everybody
no.
thing.
Yeah, it's a greed.
So-
Greed has, yeah.
And one of the things that you have in place before Brad, you finish your point is that, like, in some instances, I know, like, for the government is prohibited in negotiating the price of medicine. Well,
Right.
So why is that? I mean, if they could negotiate the price of medicine, maybe they could find cheaper meds to bring the price down, and capitalism would still work.
Very great
Right.
lobbyists.
You know, and that's really the big thing that we're talking
Lobbyists,
about
say
here.
it with
I mean,
me.
is this more of a healthcare issue, or is this more of a
Money.
paying for
It's
the
a tax.
Well, is it more of we're paying for the inflated cost of health care procedures and benefits and all that? Maybe that's what needs to be focused on versus this. And
Well, the
I'll
thing
go out and
is,
say
though-
I am not for what is being proposed, and I am a Republican, and I am not happy with everything I see. I'll go ahead and tell you that now. But again, I don't know. It's something else needs to be done versus what's happening.
But the current agenda is just to replace it because it was a liberal agenda.
Yeah.
And therefore, if the continued focus is that, it's going to do more havoc.
Well, I think
than
also
good.
partly what
Which-
you just said too. If you immediately want to label it as we're repealing or something should be repealed because we see it as a liberal agenda, then
that's the words.
I know,
though,
but
no.
you're automatically setting yourself in a mindset to oppose no matter what gets
I mean,
put out.
that's what we've seen. I mean,
So-
literally, that's what we're saying with the Republican leadership. That it's because, it was a liberal agenda, it was a Democrat agenda, and this is, I mean, literally in the article I have here from NBC News, that you have senators that are saying this is what we ran on, and we have to keep our promise to repeal, even if we replace at a later date, which is a new conversation. So it's not my words, literally,
Right.
that's the agenda.
Well, the question would be, when you're talking about repeal, would it be better for the bill that's proposed or to repeal it totally? Because once you repeal it totally, the insurance company and the American public is at a standstill. What do we do now?
Well, I think in that case it goes back to the way it was, and you go back to where pre-existing conditions you could be denied for.
Yeah.
Lifetime caps would be back in place. All of that was beforehand. Could easily revert back to that. I mean, we kind of would go back to having the problem and the problem not being solved. Again, like what
In
President
2 years of discussion again.
and again, like President Obama has stated, he said there's not a perfect bill. He has said if a bill can be put forward that will cover people and bring down costs,
He was
will
all
support
for it. Yes,
no matter
he's
who
made
comes
those
up with it.
statements.
And personally, I have tried to read a lot of what's going on with this, and there's so much to tread through. There's parts of what's existing that I don't like. There's parts about what's being proposed that I do, and vice versa. I mean, as an average American citizen, I like the part of making part of it open to the free market. I really do, and the reason I like that is because you potentially, okay, I'm saying the word potentially, there can be competition between the companies to actually make prices affordable.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
but
what we
I
have
would-
right
and I
now
would like
is
to
a
see
legal
that.
monopoly
Yeah.
between the insurance companies and Big Farm. That's what we have, is a legal monopoly in a country where monopoly is
But it's also to
wrong.
the same on the other side of that, and this is what I'm throwing out to the other side of that. Does it make a lot of sense that if you, or should it be fair that you live in Arkansas, but you could possibly get a better plan in Alabama? Like, I think that's what they're trying to focus on. That
I don't think it's really that. I mean, I think there is a certain level of allowing the states to make their own decisions. I do see that, but
I do support that.
But then again, prime example. Everybody remembers the whole EpiPen debacle, right?
Yes.
How they went through the roof.
Where it cost as much to make an M&M, and
Well,
then they
not
charged.
necessarily that. Like the price inflated, like was it 600, 700%?
Or the
right?
time the guy
did that with the high blood
or the guy,
pressure.
or the guy that bought the rights to that AIDS drug, and I think
Right.
raised it up
Okay.
to like I can't
So-
remember what it was.
$3,600 or something. Wasn't
It was
It-
way.
it
I think it's more than that.
Now, this is
Per
just
pill,
me.
that's what I
This is
thought it
my
was.
thought
Like-
process. Is the fact that if you're throwing the government funding money at it, the prices are going to be whatever they are because they're going to get that guaranteed money, and there's no competition to make them bring their prices to an affordable rate for people. So, I mean, that's where my mind, and again, potentially it has the ability to make free market, and it has the ability to actually be competitive and things to come down. Will it happen? It's not guaranteed. I don't know. And so that I would like to see that to make even me, like I'm paying ridiculous amount of money for healthcare. It's just because there's no competition in it.
Yeah,
You know.
It's a legal monopoly.
And our premiums, our deductibles have gone up.
Yeah.
We're right in that limbo, quote unquote, this middle class family.
That's right.
We're right there, and it has negatively affected us financially. But even on that same note, we both know, my husband and I both know people that if it had not been for Obamacare, or if it would have been around, like I said, for a personal issue of mine, 5.5 years ago, you think about the outcome, things have been different. And that's what it gets you to, where you kind of take yourself out of it and say, for the greater good, that I am for, being able to help those who cannot afford health care.
I'm with
we
you.
couldn't either from the major happen.
Right.
God Almighty had to be
Right.
a great resource.
And I would agree with you. I would
know
love to
people
see
in worse
that.
positions.
Right,
Yeah.
than what you are. And I actually asked on Facebook, what would happen if this was repealed? And within the first hour, I had 20 people fussing and fighting about this Obamacare.
And this is on both sides. But,
Yeah.
but
people literally saying, if I do not have this, I will die.
And that's on both sides.
And that, I have family that's on it, and it just don't affect the young. It don't affect the young family. This affects people with disability, the elderly, the sick. And it says in the good book, we're supposed to help those kind of people. And I don't know about my husband, but I don't have a problem paying a little bit extra to help somebody else out. The only problem I had with this whole entire situation was it was a law where they forced it upon you to either be penalized or to have insurance.
Yeah. Oh, that
I
was
didn't
the
have a
only way
choice.
that they could legally uphold it, as far as it being, and that's really the biggest issue now, as far as not so much from the health standpoint, but it's really a tax policy. Breaking it down.
And that's how it ultimately got upheld in the Supreme Court.
It's a tax policy.
You tuned in our thoughts on the matter on KLK 102.5 FM. We are discussing the proposed Senate health care bill. If you would like to weigh in, you can give us a call at 870-277-1080. Once again, that phone number is 870-277-1080. You can also leave your questions and comments on our Facebook live stream. I'm going to throw a little wrinkle into this conversation. I believe Brad mentioned that he feels like states should be left to make their own decisions. Well, the state of California actually proposed Medicaid or Medicare for all, pretty much universal health care, and it was actually a Democratic senator or assemblyman, someone in their legislature that was a Democrat that actually blocked it. But California was almost the first state to actually pass universal health care. So do you think that could something that may take traction on the state level, which could maybe possibly eventually lead to the national level?
Well, are all states created equal? I think that's the other thing, as far as the financial burden of being able to handle California, though. I'm very surprised that it would actually want to take on another financial
especially when
situation.
They're bankrupt.
I was about to say that's one thing. So that's but I'm not entirely versed on that. But just from the onset of it, this is California proposing when they have, oh my word, so many issues already going on. But that goes back to Brad, I would like to hear that. Your opinion.
No, I was just simply saying earlier. I mean, I really feel like it should be a certain level of the state's responsibilities to be able to handle a lot of things. Not everything should be completely controlled by the umbrella from above. I mean, we should be able to take care of our own to a certain level. That's all I was just simply saying. That was not an answer to the whole entire. That was not an answer for this is going to be the best thing here. But it would be great to see the initiative from the state to do that. Now, again, everything requires funding, so it's how to tackle that animal right there. There's a lot of states now that are doing more and more because of additional taxes and incomes, and there's pros and cons of how do you build income within a state. Of course, we can always talk about Colorado, which we know how they received all their additional fundings. Actually, the state itself will probably
I'm totally for that.
The state
Believe it or
itself
not, it
would
helps
probably
people.
start.
It'll lessen people in the jailhouses. I'm sorry.
Would start receiving far more tax income because of the whole because of the whole Amazon taxes and things like that are coming through now. I mean, that's going to put a lot more funding into the state general
For
funds
Colorado,
as well.
you just saying Amazon?
No. No. I was simply saying that there are going to be influxes of tax money coming into the state now.
Why,
because
Brad?
No, because you mean the Amazon taxes. I know what I was saying. I was saying we know how Colorado received a lot of their tax money, not that that's what Arkansas was going to do. But yeah, that's actually about to happen too. So there are going to be
it started Friday.
There are going to be potential influxes of tax revenue coming in back to the general fund for the state. I mean, we've seen it itself in the last 10 years with the lottery. You know, that helped fund tons of school, funding right there. So there's ways that it could occur.
Well, you brought that up, the lottery. I mean, I know we're talking about something else, but the lottery, is that a hoax or is that for real? Because you got too many stipulations. I mean, I know it helps, but there's so many stipulations
It's
for a
hard
person to get.
It's hard to get a scholarship.
It's hard
I've
to get
known
a scholarship
several
through that.
people,
I mean,
and there's
there's-
only been one I know of to actually get it.
Yeah, but it's a legitimate thing. So anyway, all I was mentioning was that you asked, could states
Just have to be creative in the revenue.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
and that's where
It's got to balance out.
that's where people that are in office that do more than what we do and have a different
Right,
mindset
like
of how
their
these things
job.
occur. I mean, that's what they do.
Yeah.
So
we have a Facebook. I'm sorry. We have Facebook shout out. Shout out to Josh Troy. Happy belated birthday, by the way. Appreciate you for checking in on our Facebook live stream.
Happy
you.
birthday. Thank you.
So that's what I was mentioning earlier. Is could states, take the responsibility of handling a lot of this? Yeah, potentially. That's all I'm saying.
Well, alrighty. Once again, we are tuned to our thoughts on the matter on KLK 102.5 FM with our panelists, Mrs. Amanda Donovan, Brother Cobbs, Mrs. Shankoda Cunningham, and Mr. Brad Dow. We're going to go ahead and get ready to go into a break. And as Amanda bops her head to the music, you enjoy it, and we'll be back with more. This is KLK 102.5 FM.
You're listening to our thoughts on the matter on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Angie with your KLEK Learn Spanish Minute. Kato, today we're learning the Spanish alphabet. It actually contains 3 more letters than the English alphabet. So let's start. A, B, B, C, C, H, Che, D, D, E, A, F, G, H, H, I, E, J, K, L, AJ, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, Z. Remember, we have 3 new letters, and those are Che is the C and H together, AJ 2 L's together, and Enye is the N with the little wave on the top. I'm Angie, and that was your Learn Spanish Minute on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Tune in to Community Conversations every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. here on KLEK 102.5 FM. Join host Quabila Jones-Harden as she talks to people who are making a difference in the community and learn about the people and organizations that provide services to make Jonesboro a better place. Community Conversations every Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Hey, what's up, Jonesboro? This is Hezekiah Walker. I'm so blessed to be on the radio here at KLEK 102.5 FM. Join me for the Hezekiah Walker Show every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 10 o'clock a.m. right after Community Conversations and every Wednesday night right after your local church Bible study at 8 o'clock p.m. Jonesboro, join me, Hezekiah Walker, and give every praise to our God on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Hezekiah Walker. It's the Hezekiah Walker Show.
KLEK is starting a new fundraiser which will allow listeners to donate to KLEK while buying groceries. KLEK is a part of the Kroger Community Rewards fundraising program. When shoppers visit a participating Kroger and scan his or her Kroger Plus shoppers card, a portion of the savings goes back to KLEK to help keep it on the air. Details on how to sign up for the program are available at KrogerCommunityRewards.com and at KLEKFM.org. This is a KLEK fundraiser.
And now back to our thoughts on the matter on KLEK 102.5 FM.
And we're back on our thoughts on the matter on KLEK 102.5 FM with our panelists, Mrs. Amanda Donovan, Brother Cobbs, Mrs. Shaquetta Cunningham, and Mr. Brad Dowling. Of course, it is myself, Cato Wonder, as your host. We've been talking about the Senate health care bill, so we just want to get back into our discussion of it and how it affects people, how it could potentially affect you. And of course, if you want to weigh in, you can give us a call at 870-277-1080. Once again, that phone number is 870-277-1080. You can also leave your questions and your comments on our Facebook live stream.
Well, something that I wanted to discuss with my wonderful panel, where is our very own Senator Tom
Cotton? I know.
Social media star Cotton in all of this.
Why are you looking at me?
He's very silent about all this.
Well,
where is he, Brad? He's been having all the answers to this.
Right, where is
but you know
Brad?
what?
You're a Republican.
It is a legitimate question because he was allegedly one of the 13 senators who helped craft the bill. So,
honestly, I don't know.
and I'm not saying that you do. None of us do. But as one of the people who potentially helped put this together, I think it is fair that his constituents have the opportunity to hear from him. I know yesterday there was a protest outside of City Hall where Senator Bozeman has his office at. I actually went out there and did a little
Cotton's there too.
A little quick live video, just speaking with some of the protesters, getting their thoughts. And of course, if you want to check that out, you can go to our Facebook on KLEK and you can watch the video for yourself. Again, we don't take a position either here or against it. And by the way, this show is an opinion show because there are some people that don't quite catch that, but this is an opinion show, and these are the opinions of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, nor our underwriters, donors, sponsors, or supporters.
Well, Mackenzie, why did you give me this list of things to say? No, but I brought that up seriously because it's amazing that we all know in March, Senator Cotton was gun-ho about saying that the House version, this bill was too quick. He did not appreciate, the American citizens did not appreciate the private conversations about the bill and what was drafted. Well, here we are, kind of following the same roadmap, but with a quicker turnaround. At least they had 18 days. They were trying to get a bill within a week. And
that's so they go on vacation, don't have to worry about it.
Oh, but they did it because they don't have to face their constituents when they go home. But now they got to face us.
Oh, they're
I'll tell you right now. Matter of fact, Northeast Arkansas is trying to have a town hall meeting with Senator Boozman and Tom Cotton, and they're actually trying to cancel. Just so you know, so they don't have to face their constituents.
I do know that since I do work
It's in August.
since I do work in the municipal building, I do know that yesterday when they had everybody out front, I actually talked to one of the reps for Cotton later on that day, and actually everybody that was down there, they allowed them to come up and discuss and talk and everything like that. So I do know that they were listening to the people that were out front completely against it. I do know that did occur.
Yeah, but again, I was given to the point that we know that we have two senators, but Senator Cotton is definitely on a trajectory. Is more infamous probably nationally, especially for an Arkansas senator, and he's been one of the leading senators of repeal and replace. And now that we actually have a bill, the recent statement is that they're in a review, but I was kind of conflicted. Like, you're in a review, but you're one of the, kind of orchestrators of the current Senate bill. but they're still in review. But I don't know if this is a political strategy to hold out, because his vote will be definitely one of the leading voices and leading votes. But again, though, I'm just interested why there's silence from someone that has basically built his career off of this very agenda.
Well, do keep in mind, this is a satellite office. This is not a main office for him here. He has multiple offices.
Oh, I'm not talking about the Jonesboro. I'm actually talking about the national stage.
Period. There ain't nowhere anywhere.
Even on his
you
website,
pop it.
I don't know if y'all went on his website. They've just released the bill. There's no,
opinions.
This is what you all have been warranting, or even on his Twitter and Facebook pages.
It's silent.
He has other pictures, but nothing about this current legislation.
My question is, why can't we keep what we have already in place, but fix the problem areas instead of just making up a whole new bill?
I'm actually
or
more for
repealing
that than anything. I mean, I think we can all agree. I don't think anyone would truly sit here and say that what is in place right now is the best thing since sliced bread. I don't think anybody in this room would say that, and I think we would all agree there are things that are broken.
All right, let's go to the phones. KLEK, who's this?
Hi, this is Nina. I just have something to say.
Okay.
Something to ask. Why can't we have universal insurance like some of the other countries that's making it work?
All right, panel.
And why can't some of these officials that we've hired all be on the same plan? Congress shouldn't be on a different plan than everybody else.
Well, I'm with you. I think they have too much privilege, make too much money, and they forgot what it's like to be the little person. That's just my opinion.
They're getting way too many perks.
That's right.
And I don't think they're going into the actual public service for that purpose. I think they like the perks and the salary more so than they're committed to the people. If they were really committed to the people, they would have the same plan as everybody else.
And I agree with that too.
And that's the way I feel about it, And some of these other government officials and everything that's getting these big salaries, that's where the money is. It needs to be taken away from there.
Okay, you were saying a universal plan. Do you know how a universal plan works? Universal plan is one of the hardest plans, but it's one of the hardest plans to get care.
Yes.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, there's
care.
actually a little baby who is the British government actually signed his death warrant because of the universal care.
Yeah,
they wanted to come over here for an experimental treatment, and his doctors and everybody there, and they actually went up in front of a specialty humane board where they deemed it unnecessary for him to seek treatment elsewhere. I mean, we're talking a baby.
Yeah, universal health care is a very interesting animal because, and I actually have family previous family that lived in other countries, and I know friends that are on universal health care in, for example, Canada and the UK.
Yeah.
And to a certain point, yes, universal health care can be great. You might not pay, and every universal health care differs across countries. Your costs are next to nil, but the line is out the door to try to get coverage. Typically, in a lot of countries like that, you might have a basic injury that might take you 3 months to see a doctor, where they'll just throw a pill at you. There are pros and cons of universal health care.
Yeah. And I think even when the HCHA was even introduced, the point was they kind of even backed away for the United States as far as saying universal health care, but basically the right for
everyone has the ability to have
health care.
Yes.
And that's the goal for the United States. Is just finding the best solution to do that. And going back to the previous statement about I can't assess what's the intention of people when they run for public office. You would think that the heart of the people is good, and once they get there, the implementation may be totally different.
I think what happens is a lot of times they get corrupted. You get all these lobbyists that start getting in their ear and throwing
money. That's right.
Big money. Throwing stuff at them.
And I don't think that's everyone. But I don't think that's everyone though, and I don't think that. And I think our officials should be paid. Salary for me is not an issue. You're $174,000 to take on the problems of 333 million people. I don't have an issue with that personally.
Yeah.
for me personally, this is Young Poet is saying that I do think though that in the issue of healthcare, you know, what would it look like? Maybe they do need a real world experience of what would it look like if you didn't have that privilege of being able to go and not pay anything, you know, and seeing that this is not the same instance for a person that's making $24,000 a year,
Right,
which is a, you know,
because
poverty level.
our senators and our president has better insurance than 90% of the American people.
And on that topic, though, you know, it was asked, well, why can't the so-called leaders, why can't they be on the same plan? Well, I mean, for that matter, I fall even in that boat, and I'm not a political leader. I personally would not want to be on the Obamacare plan because what I have, I might pay more, but it is better. I mean, if I can afford it, why can't I?
Yeah, I just think that like the accessibility and the options. Do I believe that to repeal right now would be detrimental because you have people? I can't imagine that a person that was once denied because they, you know, were already dealing with some issues and ailments and or sicknesses, and then now have access, and then now you say, hey, we have to stop treatment and stuff. I personally, you know, that's scary to think about that that's happening.
That's sort of kind of like my leg. Okay, I broke it. I've had a knee replacement, ligament surgery. If something happened tomorrow, it would not be covered by my insurance. I would also may not be able to get coverage due to this knee surgery. And that's a scary thought.
And there are hard decisions that sadly have to be made by those people that are in the position to make those decisions. You know, I think one thing we all kind of lose sight on is that there is not some plan we can put in place that will benefit every single person out there. Sadly, and that's a sad reality.
Well, that's
sometimes.
because
it's hard.
Everybody's financial situation is different. Everybody's healthcare is different.
No, that's what you brought up, the financial situation. You said that you wouldn't want to be on them, but you can afford to pay for the insurance.
Right, I know.
Everybody is not.
And I agree. I'm realistic of that.
To pay that, and so what they do get, they cherish what they have, and like you're saying, to take it away from it is very detrimental to them.
I was
like you said,
mainly
the senators. No, I understand what you're saying. The money, people that got money can do more.
Right, and it's a reality.
Just in anything.
Yeah.
Why should I buy a small car when I can have a big one? You know, I can afford it. I can do that. Live in a small house or a big house, I can afford it. So that's the choice that you make. But those that cannot afford it, we shouldn't. They shouldn't, as a whole, look down on them.
Oh, and I agree.
You know, look down on them and let them know, but you're almost saying you're no one. You know, because you don't have Obamacare or you can't afford your own insurance and all this is that. But I know it's hurting the working capital of the median people, the middle income. I know it's hurting them. I know it's hurting. But everything the government passed always hurt the middle class. Always.
Well, I want to put some numbers to this. We've been talking about the burden of it, and most you have read, and listeners, and most of us have read the CBO's, the Congressional Budget Office report, which is a nonpartisan unit, and their report about the impact of the new GOP health care bill, the numbers are the bill will cover about 22 million fewer people in 10 years. If they were to enact this and it goes through, than Obamacare. And then also the burden of responsibility would shift because it would take away some of the funding of it, which was being funded by the investment tax. So if they were to take that away, the report says that the 400 wealthiest families would benefit. We would lose $33 billion a year just from the income, just from the tax alone, from the 400 highest income households. And they compared that to say the equivalent of, to take that away, how it would look for states. And one of those states was Arkansas, that we could lose $7 billion in Medicaid expansion cuts. Arkansas cannot find $7 billion to replace it. We can't possibly do that. So that's one of the setbacks as to why many Republican leaders are coming out against this bill, because their constituents, Republicans, you know, are saying this, saying, hey, our states, if you do this, we can't afford to, like, you can try to keep Obamacare for saying we're going to take away from taxing the wealthiest people, and they're saying you do this, our states can't take on this burden. So what are your thoughts on that?
Don't everybody speak up at once.
No.
Well, I would say they cannot take on that burden because, like you said, they want to cut the rich class. But see, like you were saying, these investment companies, why come the investment company can't step up and to help out and then to lower these hospital bills and lower these pharmacy bills? I mean, they're investing. Investing is to help the future. And you sitting down holding your money, and not letting it go to work for someone, it's not helping anyone.
It's greed, capitalism.
And that was one thing I've actually, I'm with Amanda here. Go ahead, sorry.
And they're holding on to just in case, worst case scenario, because they know that somewhere, somehow, that this is, I know.
Investment means you're going to take a risk.
Okay.
It's risk taking.
I know it's risk taking, but it's sort of kind of like taking a mortgage, okay, when you're doing investment. Okay. You make $20,000 a year. Let's just say you make $20,000 a year, okay? Would a mortgage company allow you to get a $200,000 house?
It all depends on how you fill out your paperwork.
Typically the answer is no.
No, because it's unsecure. And investment companies and mortgage companies, they ain't nothing but legal loan sharks.
No,
I'm
that's
sorry.
exactly why we had the crisis of 2007 to 2008.
We gave out loans.
Housing market. Birdie.
We're going out loans.
Speaking of that, but seriously, here's the real world that this is, again, going back from some of the numbers that were released. They were just comparing how under the current act, for your premium, if you are 65 and older, you're paying $76. Under the Senate bill, you'll be paying $296.
And most people I know who is over that age is barely surviving on what they got.
Well, yeah, because my late grandmother, her Social Security check was like $593 a month.
Yeah.
And then you had to pay Medicaid out of that.
And what I like on that, you say Social Security, we pay that in, but the government borrows but never pays back. Oh, we're tax cutting Social Security. I'm sorry, I'm not tax cutting your paycheck.
It's still to kind of go back to something on here. We're talking about these proposed costs and everything. Well, these are proposed costs based on the current cost of medical treatment now. So again,
But do you actually seeing that?
Well, no. My point would be, it's
it's just gonna go on up and up and up until we actually
premiums are
put
all
a
based
cap
off
on these
of medical cost of performing a service. So
I was just looking at these numbers going up, though.
Right. So
Yeah,
could
why not?
there not be something done to keep the cost?
Yeah,
of
it's the system.
health-
I think
It's
everyone
the
has been
system.
saying
And-
that.
It's a legal monopoly, and these 13
And
people.
maybe to throw this out there is for all those that are completely against what is being proposed, that maybe are in the powers that be that run some of these medical companies. They're probably completely against what's happening. They're the ones making still the profit.
Yeah.
So-
and that's where this current bill would benefit. I did fail to mention that the wealthiest 1% and 0.1%, but also the medical companies who were being taxed as well for under the current plan.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is for all of the people that are anti what is being proposed, okay, so they're against everything that's being proposed, but they have power in the medical industry. You don't see them lowering their costs.
No.
Okay.
Because
I
it's
don't
a
think
people
so.
going up.
Well, because
Your
what I'm
healthcare.
saying is there's a
They
very
know the baby-
hypocritical tongue-in-cheek going on here. Is like
Yeah.
they're against it, but they're doing nothing to make the situation better.
And
Yeah.
even if you give them a tax break and they say, hey, we're going to lower the funds, they ain't going to do that. I mean, they're businessmen, greedy businessmen. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. If
It's-
you can
it's
watch
the system.
somebody that can't afford health insurance but sleep at night knowing that, hey, I got trillions of dollars
Or
in the
$20 million
bank.
bonus.
Yeah, and people are literally dying on the street. How do these people sleep at night? Of my opinion is
easily in probably their $20,000.
right. It's because they're cruel and heartless.
I guess another way to look at this too is it's like the person that is sitting there saying, "Oh, I feel for you so bad, and I am making money off of you feeling so bad," and that's what I'm getting at is that if they have the potential to actually make the situation better, then why are we not saying anything to them? Because they are in essence the people that are potentially making the price points for the medical coverage that is spinning all this out of control.
But now
they're really not on your side.
I was gonna say,
and
now
they're in their
Supreme
pocketbook
Court,
side.
they can
And there's a
fund.
special circle, and you know where from there.
So I mean, again, things could be better, but there's the entire system has to work together, and we're talking about making healthcare based off of a system that is price gouging the people.
And I think that's something that we all
and we're not talking about that.
I think if we get the lobbyists out of there, they put a cap on the monopoly, they regulate Big Farm, and the insurance companies things would get better. Because once you get the lobbyist out there, there's no money.
I'm all for business.
Can people wait 10 years for that to happen?
Because we
just
all
how long-
know that's not going to happen
we're
because
gonna have
there's
to go
too
ahead
much
and leave
money
it.
going under the table.
All right, we're gonna have to leave it there. Continuing our thoughts on the matter. When we come back, we're gonna switch gears and we're gonna talk about the 4th of July fireworks safety. And we're gonna lighten the mood, have a little bit more fun. Stay tuned. This is our thoughts on the matter. This is KLEK 102.5 FM.
You're listening to our thoughts on the matter on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
Those spidery dark lines that appear on legs and thighs are unsightly varicose veins. Poor circulation is the cause. Unhealthy veins are weak and lack strength, causing blood to reverse its flow and collect in the veins. This pooling of blood is what makes varicose veins visible. Heredity and hormonal factors may cause varicose veins, but so can lifting heavy objects, obesity, pregnancy, standing for long periods, sitting with legs crossed too often, and lack of exercise. Varicose veins are more than unsightly, they can also be painful. Prevent or eliminate the condition by avoiding tight clothing, shoes, belts, and jewelry that cut off circulation. Elevate legs whenever possible, especially at night. I'm Alexis Comer for Black Health Now.
Black Health Now.
Black Health Now is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization dedicated to uncompromising commitment to communities, service, leadership, empowerment. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated was established on January 1st, 1977, originally serving Blytheville, Arkansas, and now serving Jonesboro, Blytheville, Osceola, Marion, and West Memphis, Arkansas. Today, the chapter continues to make an impact by focusing on Alpha's national community outreach initiatives such as My Brother's Keeper, A Voteless People is a Hopeless People, Go to High School, Go to College, Project Alpha, Boy Scouts, and the March of Dimes. The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is committed to Alpha's mission of developing leaders, promoting brotherhood and academic excellence, while providing service and advocacy to the community. More information about the Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is available at MOL Alphas on Facebook or via email at molalphas@gmail.com.
The Epic Center, 1899 Craighead County Road, 333, presents Miss Arkansas and Friends Comedy Show, July 8th, 8 o'clock p.m., featuring comedy and musical performances by Jay Lee, MC Angela, Moneybags, Mr. Right or Wrong, T-Money, J. Ra, and King Jadadon. This is an 18 and older event. Miss Arkansas and Friends Comedy Show, July 8th. Ticket 314-448-2879 or 972-589-6275. House of Details, located at 3217 Herb Street, Suite C, is a proud supporter of KLEK, offering detailing on any type of vehicle, waxing, clear coat protection, basic wash, hand wash, shampoo, interior cleaning, buffering, headlight restoration, pickup, delivery, and more. With a motto of, anything mean, we can clean. Details available via Quentin Bogard at 870-273-5187. House of Details on Facebook and houseofdetailsjonesboro.com.
From the KLEK Community Calendar, OESPHA, Eliza Murphy, number 395, presents Fish Fry, Saturday, July 29th, 2017. Plates will include 2 pieces of fish, spaghetti, slaw, bread, and dessert. This will take place from 11 o'clock a.m. until 3 o'clock p.m. at the E. Boone Watson Center, 1005 Logan Avenue in Jonesboro. More information is available at 870-919-6634.
And now back to our thoughts on the matter on KLEK 102.5 FM.
And we're back on KLEK 102.5 FM. And as you can hear, we have a lot of fun when we are off the break, because when we come back, you hear our lovely panel still talking, but can't let you know what goes on off there. It's a little bit on the private side, but it is all good. This is our thoughts on the matter on KLEK 102.5 FM with Mrs. Amanda Donovan, Brother Cobbs, Mrs. Shanquetta Cunningham, and Mr. Brad Dowell, and myself here to wonder. We're going to go ahead and switch gears, as today is July 1st, and of course, July 4th is coming up, and of course, we hope everyone has a safe July 4th. Don't drink and drive. Make sure you have those designated drivers, and just be safe in all that you do. So, of course, the city did put out a press release just reminding everyone that fireworks are illegal to be discharged in the city limits. I'm sure everybody already knew that, but they still had to.
$500 fine.
They still had to remind you. And of course, some people kind of got a little up in arms, post on social media like, "Really? Well, it's like you know this all of your life." But let's just.
I didn't know.
I thought you just
Well, I mean, even growing up in Helena, I mean, the police would always say, and it'd be in the paper, it's just been kind of an understood thing, because people.
But it's not really been a lot of arrests, for. But Jonesboro, in the city limits, you cannot pop fireworks. The county,
you can.
However,
It's different,
is free game. I mean, that's not an endorsement. I'm just telling you, legally, that.
There's nothing on the books about it.
There's nothing on
it's free game.
And there's nothing on the books about it.
But
But
why do you think that?
why do I
Because
Why do I think what?
Why do you think the county don't have
It's
what the
impossible
city does?
It's impossible to enforce.
to enforce? I was about to say, I don't know if they want to put resources.
It's
towards
impossible.
it.
It's impossible to
It's more
enforce.
open.
And
It's
yeah.
more open.
going
It's more
down
open.
back
Less
roads
safety
and stuff.
risk.
Yeah, I mean,
live
but
in
let's just be
Cali.
honest though. I
My
grew up
grandpa
in a
does.
city where it was restricted, and as we were sharing our stories, I've drunk, a root beer and then put the bottle rockets in the root beer and held it.
Yeah.
The bottle and
And shooting at people.
I mean, I've
Well,
heard
yeah.
stories.
I'm really
I've
bad
heard
about
stories.
bottle rocket
Yeah,
wars.
and one thing
hand.
is on the 4th of July, I do not ride with my windows down.
No.
because
Because I've had them
you
come
might-
into the car.
Yeah, because you might find a bottle rocket flying to you. Now, I didn't have one flying to my car, but I remember when I was an ASU student, and shout out to everybody who remembers Twin Towers. And one night, I was sleeping, all I heard psst. The next thing I know, pew, psh. Someone had actually lit a bottle rocket under my dorm room door.
Yes.
And by the time I opened up the door to see who it was, they were long gone down the stairwell.
And that's how it is about the policemen. You cannot catch these little kids once they start popping the fireworks. They see the policemen come, they gotta watch.
Yeah, they have a lookout.
And
They smart
everyone had a
nowadays.
lookout. I said, do y'all remember that?
Yes.
Again, we are not endorsing. We're just sharing stories.
Everybody, definitely be safe. Everybody definitely be
Or
safe.
people holding the Roman candles, shooting them at each other.
Yeah, sometimes
Well,
shoots out the back. Sometimes too.
Everybody do keep in mind that Joe Mack Campbell's doing a fireworks show Monday night.
Hey.
No, not Monday, Tuesday night.
Tuesday
sorry,
night
sorry.
and Freedom Fest out there at
Nothing like holding your
softball
elbows.
complex.
Or throwing it.
So there are shows actually going on if you actually want to see professional fireworks shows. that you
It's not
can
as
enjoy
fun,
with the
I'm
family.
sorry. But don't do what I'm doing. It's not safe at all.
I would say if you're going out there, just watch the traffic.
M80s.
Look, I mean, don't do what you've done or doing.
Right?
Okay,
It will not
well,
be
who-
posted
well-
to social media, I promise.
Well, who's cooking? Because I'm gonna need a plate.
Well, I'm actually considering having one out the park, but we hadn't made it official yet.
Too hot.
We actually will be in Leggings. My husband is here. Shout out to my wonderful husband who just became a reserved officer, Sanford Cunningham.
And we thank him for his service.
Unshameless.
Thank you for
Unshameless. But but we actually are. This is our public invite. But Leggings, you're welcome. You all are welcome too.
Well,
Just so
come
you know.
four girls.
Well,
We're gonna cook. I'm not gonna give my address.
Okay, you can give us the address off the air.
Yeah.
So y'all going off somewhere? Okay.
Yeah, but there are a lot of events going on. You know, people. The 4th. It is one of those holidays to where it's like you can just a day to breathe.
Okay, let me put this out there, guys. Do y'all remember you wore them plaid tabletop color pants and a shirt that had a shirt for every color inside the pants?
I do remember people going to buying 4th of July outfits. I don't know if the folks still do that.
People still do that. Like get their hair done for the 4th.
Yes, sir.
Wear the colors from head to toe. I think that's the one day.
Actually, I am
white,
wearing the
red, blue,
colors.
white.
All my girls have. It's a big.
Yes, Amanda, I just noticed you are very, very patriotic too.
It's a big ordeal in my family.
Yeah.
We
No, I
just-
think it's for
a lot of people.
For a lot of people, it's like that. You know, I'm sure barbershop days it's extra haircuts, right?
Because I'm a little late today.
And Brother Cobbs, I'm just gonna say 1404 Franklin Street, right across from the radio station. Brother Cobbs has a barbershop. That's all I can say on that.
It's gonna be loaded this evening.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna be open Monday.
And everybody do keep in mind, if you're going to go out and you're going to have fun and you do decide to indulge, there are ways to get home safely. Please don't drink and drive.
Taxi,
because
designated driver.
Uber,
If
yes.
you're gonna
Uber.
drink a beer or
And-
two, wait a couple hours before you go home.
Potentially, if you're downtown this evening, do remember Brick House. I will tell them they do have a free shuttle that they will take you home. Don't be too proud to ask somebody to drive you home.
And remember, Jonesboro Police Department will be enforcing drive sober or get pulled over. So
I'll tell you right now, I died 2 minutes for 36 seconds because of a drunk driver. It does not. I have rather see somebody call me. I will come and pick them up. I've literally had to do that to my truck drivers.
And most people, and we have a great community here to where most people will even, businesses will like stay here or just don't want you out on the streets. But that's
some people actually takes your car keys too.
Because really, you mess the business up. Because if I'm in your establishment and drink and go out and hurt someone, the business is responsible for
Yeah,
that.
they're liable.
They can be, yes.
Yeah. And like I said, we have
So
some great
we're gonna
business
take you
too.
home.
Yeah.
But enjoy family time. Everybody be safe on the road. Travel. Have a good time.
So the real question is though, who's already about fireworks?
I
have.
Well, I have not and have no intentions to that. I guess if I had kids, I would, but since I don't,
They
no
just
fireworks
started
for me.
selling them yesterday. I mean, why they wait so late?
I don't know.
Oh, I saw some.
The tent's been up, but they weren't selling the tent.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
Well, they're open now, so.
They are. We'll be all night. I think
Now,
they're literally
I
all
want to
night.
thank all our soldiers who are actually, either during deployment or just come back. Thank you for your services.
Or those that unfortunately cannot be with their families on the
That's
4th
right.
of July.
Yeah.
And the ones who
Every
never made it
holiday
home.
is tough, though. Every holiday is tough. One thing I appreciate about the 4th, I think the 4th is one of those holidays to where every American should
be thankful.
Well, not just thankful, just take part in that. It's the people that makes this country great. It's not just we thank for the servicemen, but it's the school teachers, it's the firefighters, it's the people that get up and every day and go.
The radio
contribute to
announcers.
That's right.
The entrepreneurs.
Well,
It's everyone that makes this country.
Or anybody who's just trying to make a difference.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, we do have a lot of freedoms that we take for granted.
Yes.
And
Like
we
the show,
get
we probably get
upset
our
about
tongue cut off
sometimes
in
about
Saudi
the things that
Arabia.
occur. Right. We get upset about the things that occur sometimes, but do we keep in mind we have lots of freedoms that other countries do not have. You should be proud of that and be thankful.
Yeah, and do your part just to ensure that everyone can enjoy these moments. And that's where we're here. And you look at this, Austin, if you are looking on Facebook Live, you see we're a very diverse group. And that's the beauty of this show, and appreciate Legans and Kelly K and just being here. So yes, enjoy the weekend, enjoy your families and friends. And fireworks.
right. Brad, any final thoughts?
No, I think that's all I had to say.
All right.
It's been great.
Well, you guys have a great and blessed 4th of July weekend. Next week, we got a barn burnover show. We're going to talk about medical marijuana, or cannabis, as they would say, medical cannabis, and how it affects the prison industrial complex and mandatory minimum sentences. Don't miss it. This is KLEK 102.5 FM.
Thank you for listening to our Thoughts on the Matter on KLEK 102.5 FM. A program offering opinions from all sides of the issues concerning local, state, and national topics of importance to the Jonesboro community. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters, donors, or sponsors.